Welcome back to Manosphere Daily. Today, we're breaking down a harsh reality that some women are finally waking up to, losing their pretty privilege and realizing that the wall is unforgiving. One day, they're used to all the attention, free drinks, and compliments, and the next, silence. It's a tough pill to swallow, but we're here to talk about it. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the real talk. And don't forget to share this video, these conversations need to be heard.
The way you're talking about women in their 30s is absolutely disgusting.
What did I say?
Like,
no.
They have baggage, they have high bodies, like you're making these blanket general statements about women that's absolutely disgusting.
Hold on, before you say your thing, let me actually just not make this a gendered thing. Men, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, as you get older, you go through more experiences, and some of those are positive experiences, some of those are negative experiences. So both men and women accrue trauma and baggage as they age. In recent years, I've dealt with very difficult things that I didn't deal with a while back. It's just the reality of being older. So I'm gendering it because, yes, I'd rather date somebody who's, a younger woman who's maybe 25, for example. Don't get me wrong. I find women who are in their 30s attractive. In fact, I've dated women in their 40s. I've dated women older than me. So it's not like I'm exclusively going after like college girls. But what I am saying is, if they want to date me and I want to date them, I don't see any problem with dating a 25-year-old.
Men don't care if they're not welcomed. They don't expect people to just accept them into a group like women do, because again, men live in the real world. Women do not. We live in this play pretend world where we're given more credit for what we actually do than we do.
Mm-hmm. So I've seen you speak many times about the detrimental effects that all of these things have on men's mental health, and that they have a higher rate of suicide, they have all these things. And so I think that it's really interesting that you care a lot, seemingly, about men's mental health, but then at the same time you'll say, oh, men don't care if you're mean to them, men don't care if they're not welcomed. You say all of these things that have an impact on men's mental health. So I think to care about one, you have to recognize how it impacts the other.
What I'm saying is men understand that that's the real world, and they know there's nothing they can do to change that. Women go into a man's world and they expect to be given special treatment and privilege.
Is there anyone else out there in their 40s like me who feels kind of invisible? Like, I'm not as cute as I was in my 20s and 30s. I'm definitely not as fit as I was in my 20s and 30s. I don't have as much hair as I used to have. It's literally falling off like the top of my head. Oh! Ah! It's falling off the top of my head. It just spit everywhere. Not as graceful as I used to be. And like the hair that is growing back in, it's gray, which is fine. I'm good with going gray. I've had this gray streak in my hair for a really long time and I've just been rocking it. But like, I don't have any more eyebrows. I don't have any more eyelashes. I just don't feel pretty anymore. Who else is out there who feels this way? Because it can't just be me. But also I feel like there needs to be this whole revolution of women like us on social media to prove to everyone that we're still here and we're still valid and we're still relevant.
Welcome back to Manosphere Daily. Today, we're breaking down a harsh reality that some women are finally waking up to, losing their pretty privilege and realizing that the wall is unforgiving.
Are men actually unaware of how we flirt with you? Because I swear, up until today, I thought this is the most obvious thing that you could do. Like, I wouldn't look back if I didn't want you to come over here. When they didn't, I was like, oh, they're just not interested. But apparently, my TikTok comments think that they just didn't know the whole time. They're lying, right?
Men are 100% unaware. That look is only going to have a man thinking that you're either giving him a side eye, or you're amused, or you're judging him, or you think he's being weird, or you're checking to make sure that he's not creeping on you. But what I can say is for sure, 10 out of 10 guys will have no idea that that is you inviting him, which is why I've said it before and I will say it again. If you as a woman are interested in a man, you need to go walk your leggies over and then use your big girl words and tell him that you're interested in him and give him your number. That is being clear.
Pretty privilege. Now, this is the preferential treatment people get because of their appearance. Now, although it sounds like a positive, it does come with certain defects. One is negative assumptions. Now, because you're wired to assume that people don't have it all, when we see a pretty person, we're more likely to assume that they're less intelligent and likely to be arrogant. This affects how we approach them. As a result, they have to unconsciously fight against this preconceived idea we hold against them in our mind. Second thing is that we tend to blame pretty people for the privilege they receive rather than the person giving them the privilege. And because we assume they're to blame, we think they need humbling. Pretty people are more likely to receive more negative criticism about their appearance. Comments that would normally be seen as quite mean and cruel to say to somebody else seems acceptable to say to somebody pretty because you assume they're resilient. The final thing is that they tend not to find their true matches. The reason being is pretty people are very much used to somebody chasing them. They're unlikely to go and approach the person that they're most attracted to. Or tend to just settle for the person that was...
Okay, I'm going on a first date right now, and I swear to God, if this isn't my husband, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed because I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to date anymore. I don't want to go on first dates. I don't want to have to worry about an outfit and text and get to know a stranger. This is a complete stranger that I'm meeting. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm fucking over it. If this can be my husband, I would be so happy and just never have to go on a first date ever again. Dear God, send prayers.
It's funny how pretty privilege was never a problem until it disappeared.
I'm a feminist too. We some feminists, so we always gonna look out for the female interest. But girl be tripping. Oh my mama, girl be tripped out.
We be having reasons to trip.
What's your reason?
Because of how I look. I can trip if I want to. If I look good, I can trip. If I look good, I definitely can trip.
That's pretty privilege. That is fine.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna say that's valid though, cause if you look good, I'll put up with it. Not saying I
the looks is the reason.
Yeah. If she look good, I'm gonna put up with it. Yeah, I'm gonna put up with it.
But if you look 3, I'm not gonna put up with that.
If you look 3, I'm
that
not even holler. Honestly.
Exactly.
Might as well not even holler.
I disagree when he said we treat attractive people better.
No, they do. If you're attractive, you have a better chance at getting far than you do being ugly.
You think so?
Yes. Ugly people don't stand a chance.
Well,
unless they're real smart and they're able to make money.
Yeah, but anybody can be smart.
Yeah, but if you have green, then you look good to some people.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you can't just be ugly and broke and think you're going to get somewhere.
Right. Oh, facts.
I don't know why I think pretty girl privilege is one of the dumbest things to ever exist. I don't know. I'm patiently waiting to understand what is this privilege.
So this is the newest It's not pretty girl privilege now, it's pretty girl curse. The pretty curse.
Posse, pretty, please pull up to this tea, okay? Because let me tell you, honey, things between the girls online are getting pretty ugly. Woo! One of my beautiful, talented, excellent coworkers, Adriana, recently did a story about the pretty privilege curse. So in her feature, she talked to a woman named Shiley who's going crazy on TikTok.
And I know this even sounds like pretty girl privilege, just talking about pretty girl privilege.
She said that she's been bullied and traumatized by women who are insecure and don't want her around, exclude her from things because she's so hot.
You can be the nicest person to them and they're still gonna be mean just because you're pretty.
For more tea on this pretty mess, come on over to my channel, Post Poppin' with Asia Grace.
Where are they? Where are all the 40-year-old men, bit of grey, good job, bit of a dad bod? Where are they? Because they're not fucking here, are they? No. Do you know what is here? A chihuahua. Where are they?
For years, these women could get away with bad attitudes, unrealistic standards, and doing the absolute bare minimum because looks were enough.
Is the pretty privilege a real thing?
Pretty privilege is a real thing. You can, there's benefits, but then there's a downside. I think the good stuff is that, like, you know, I do notice, like, when you're prettier, well put together, like, people just receive you better. And, you know, you get hired more. Like, I don't want to sound like, I don't know, I don't want to.
It is what it is. I mean, you saying it or not saying it, it's still happening. I just want to be clear on the producer's point of view. Having a attractive woman up here, like, you understand.
I mean, I went to a meeting yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. I was brought into this meeting and I was the only girl there. The deal closed. So I feel like when you have a pretty girl, things just kind of smooth over, if that makes sense. Like, right. I don't know how to explain it, but pretty privilege is a thing.
But you
do
have to have
benefit-
integrity and everything else with that now.
Yeah, you have to.
You know, when you're a woman, especially when you look good, because people always talk about pretty privilege, but they don't actually get that. You see, when you're an attractive woman, you're constantly objectified.
Yeah,
Constantly. It's like they forget what is in here or like what your talent is. They're just looking at you. Do you understand? And it's nice. It's not just that.
And
Especially when
I just realized
especially when you
especially
when you've got a gift and you're in a certain but you know what I'm saying, though.
No, but I'm saying like he's mad for me.
Can someone explain to me why men on Hinge write things like no drama, drama-free, not interested in drama on their bios? Like, when I read that, all that makes me think is that you are either full of drama or you have a complete inability to take accountability for anything you do.
Now that time has caught up, they're realizing that personality and character actually matter.
You say, well, women don't have to do anything to get this opportunity to be on this stage, but I think it's because you successful men are giving us those opportunities. You men are sexualizing us and you want us in the clubs, you want us at your table, you want us here, so we're here.
I always say on the show, privilege is invisible to those that have it. She said that knowing, right? Like it didn't even come to her mind that I'm getting these privileges because I'm a woman. She went ahead and said it anyway. It actually made your argument weaker. But women don't see it because privilege is invisible to them because it's so common. That's why I tell y'all, women live life on easy mode. So the only thing that they're gonna respect is when they actually have to work for something. And that needs to be your validation, your attention, and your time.
This video got 23 million views. It says, POV, you're a girl pumping gas alone. Immediately analyzing everything. Anxious tapping. Notices a truck going slow and staring. Me, what the F are you staring at? Quickly leaves, even when it's not filled yet. Some people were saying, I totally agree. People don't understand that with pretty privilege comes this inherent anxiety about your surroundings and how people are going to treat you. Others said, girls who are ugly to average to beautiful are getting hit on and catcalled and harassed every single day. Baby, you are not special. And when you make it about your pretty privilege, you are silencing the less attractive looking women who deal with the same harassment. I stand in the middle on this issue. It's just a little funny because if you're so worried about being harassed by men, maybe don't dress in a bra and biker shorts pulled up your butt. Just a note.
Most women will never experience real love because real love requires giving and receiving respect. It requires emotional safety for both partners, reciprocity, a freedom for both to express as they wish, and for both to have identities and dreams outside of the relationship. And most women were not raised to receive love. They were raised to serve others.
They used to roll their eyes at men, ignore the average guys, and laugh about how easy dating was. Now, they're staring at their phone, wondering why nobody's texting back.
What about you? When's the last time you used your pretty privilege?
Take stuff from guys.
You just take stuff? Who got their cash app and they buy? I know one of y'all got your cash app.
That's ghetto. That's given very much. No, we don't do that.
So,
Do that. I don't get nothing. I promise.
But when he's sending this to the cash app, he's looking for an ass hat. You know what I mean? Where he can see your ass.
He wants to see her feet, and she never sent it to him.
Are your feet pretty?
Yeah, she got pretty.
So what's the problem?
Because no, he wanted a specific color. He wanted a specific color.
Wow, he wanted a specific color.
I wanted them to be blue. They're not blue.
$100. Them shits better be blue, green, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so do he get a refund? He don't get a refund.
He ain't getting nothing. No.
Do you think that pretty privilege exists?
Sadly, but 100%.
And do you think that there are also any negatives that come with it?
Yeah, 100%. It's called a halo effect. When you're attractive your whole life, whether it be guy or girl, you get certain privileges and things handed to you. Yeah. So when you have to do something for yourself, people kind of like go into like panic mode because like they can't use their attractiveness as a plus.
Do you also think then that people perceiving it that way could mean that people's accreditations and achievements go under the radar and people say, oh, they only got that because they're pretty?
You know what? That's such a good question. That's sad because there are some people out there that are attractive or are doing really well that actually put the work in. But the sad thing is, because they're attractive, people are just going to say, like you just said, oh, so-and-so just made it because they're pretty, or some people actually work for it.
It is very fabricated, and like what she was saying, every generation, every era kind of has its different version of its own beauty trends and stuff. But the reason for it, I think, is maybe a human nature thing of just like wanting to find a group of people to feel safe. I don't know why it exists. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of both, like 50-50.
Y'all want to talk about pretty privilege? I'm seeing a lot of pretty people talking about how pretty privilege isn't real and they don't fucking have it and blah, blah, blah. Shut up. No. You want to talk about pretty privilege? Talk to people who had a glow up. If they were ugly in some kind of way and now they're somewhat attractive or very attractive, whatever, they will tell you pretty privilege is fucking real. Because when you weren't attractive, it was like everything you did was like annoying. Like your presence just like pissed people off. If you asked a question, you were the biggest like irritation of life. But when you're like stereotypically attractive, like whatever, you get away with so much more. People are so much nicer to you. It is the realest shit. It's beyond me that this is even a fucking conversation. Let's be fucking for real.
Tell me you have pretty privilege without actually telling me that you have pretty privilege.
Sometimes when me and my friends are around a group of guys, they'll intentionally ignore me and only talk to my friends and pretend that I'm not there. And I think it's because they're too nervous to come talk to me because they think I'm cute.
The wall doesn't negotiate, and it doesn't care about how many followers you had at 22. The same men they dismissed have moved on, and now they want sympathy. Life comes at you fast.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.